in the context of what we've just been talking about, because of course this is the statue of someone who was campaigning for a whole group of people who were fed up with being treated like second-class citizens. And, you know, we've just had a debate about the fact that the Windrush generation feel exactly like that. The Home Secretary stood up yesterday in Parliament and tried to make amends. There are hundreds, thousands of people who may feel like that's not enough. What's your view this morning about people like Anthony Bryan who were made to feel like criminals?
Well, I would like to talk about that, but if I may first just say a word about the statue, which, as we've just heard, the statues of 11 men here in Parliament Square, and today we will have the first statue ever of a woman, an amazing woman, Millicent Fawcett, inspiration for many other people, not just women and others, but for all sorts of causes of civil rights. Now, you just asked me about the Windrush generation, and it's quite right that you do, because what we've seen unfolding in the last few days is for that group of people that came to our country at a great time of need, a bit like my own parents did from South Asia. They came at a great time of need. Some of them have been treated appallingly, and that is why it's absolutely right that the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary have unreservedly apologised for that and now are working hard to put that right.
Why has nobody in the British government seen fit to fall on their sword as just a matter of course, given the scale of this?
Well, I mean, first of all, what you've said about Mr. Brown there, of course, is unacceptable in every way. That's appalling treatment of any individual, and whatever support and any way that he can be and others help now, of course they should get that support. But what the Home Secretary has done, he first of all rightly recognised the scale of this problem and apologised for it, but also has set in motion a number of ways to try and help. So yesterday, for example, I was sitting beside her in Parliament when she came and made a further statement on this issue, and has expanded the group of people in the Home Office that are helping people from that generation. She has waived a whole bunch of fees that often are necessary to secure your passport, and also she will be coming back later to the House whenever she's ready in the next few days to talk about the compensation that can be offered. There are many individuals from that generation that have not been treated well, and that issue has now come to light in recent days, and it's being put right for all of them. And I'm not pretending it's easy, but it's right that the government has recognised that, has apologised that, and is getting on for the job. And I'm quite happy for you to ask me about that today.
But I'm sure that there will be people trying to tot up how much compensation you offer to someone who has been put into a detention centre, someone who has faced the threat of deportation, hasn't been able to see their mother. We've had people miss relatives' funerals, people in tears over missing their daughters' weddings. I mean, how on earth are you going to compensate these people? Is it simply going to be for financial legal bills that they can provide receipts for, so to speak? Or is it going to be a wider sense of compensation for the injustice that they have suffered?
Well, the compensation issue is being looked at right now, as the Home Secretary said yesterday. She will obviously come back to Parliament and explain how that process will work. But I know it's being looked at very comprehensively. I wish I could tell you more about that today, but I cannot. It's not something I'm personally working on myself, but it is something that I know as a member of the government that is being taken very, very seriously. What has been very personal about this this terrible issue for me is that this could easily have been someone like me. It could have been my brothers, my family that in this kind of situation. Obviously not part of the Windrush generation, but part of a generation that came, our parents came to this country to help build it. And that's why I want to also make sure the government is doing everything it can, and it is. And I know that the Home Secretary has got a complete grip on this issue, and this whole issue of compensation as well is something that I know that she is taking very, very seriously indeed.
Let's end how we started, which is actually some good news, which is behind you, which is the statue of the suffragette Millicent Fawcett in Parliament Square, the first woman, as you say. It's a historic moment. It's one that we should celebrate, and it's long overdue.
Yeah, it's an inspiring moment, and she'll be here today alongside a statue of Gandhi, a statue of Mandela. You know, these are three amazing people that have fought for the civil rights of people both here in Britain and around the world, and therefore it's an amazing moment today and something that should inspire us all.